chill of February has settled over Salem, and with it, a darkness that seeps into the very bones of our community. I am Prudence Hawthorne, and I invite you to walk with me through these troubled times. The whispers that once floated lightly through the village have now taken on a darker tone, and names are being spoken that send shivers down my spine. It began with Tituba, the enslaved woman from Reverend Parris's household. She was the first to be accused of witchcraft, and under the weight of fear and pressure, she confessed to consorting with the devil. In her confession, she named others, drawing more innocent souls into the web of suspicion. The village was thrown into chaos, and I could feel the fear tightening its grip around us. Among those accused was my dear friend Sarah Good. I watched in horror as she was dragged from her home, her face a mask of despair. Sarah has always been a kind-hearted woman, often misunderstood and struggling to survive in our harsh world. But now, the village's fear has turned her into a scapegoat, and my heart aches for her. Sarah Osborne, too, found herself ensnared in this madness. The accusations against her were baseless, yet they were enough to strip her of her freedom. As I heard the news of her arrest, I felt a wave of helplessness wash over me. The hysteria that had gripped our village was intensifying, consuming reason and compassion. The hysteria spread like wildfire, consuming reason and compassion. Neighbors turned against one another, and the air was thick with accusations. In the midst of this turmoil, I found myself at a crossroads. My work as a midwife had always been a source of pride, a calling that connected me to the very heart of our community. But now, I questioned whether I could continue to help those in need without putting myself and my family at risk. The thought of being accused for my healing practices loomed over me like a dark cloud. The meeting house became a place of judgment, a gathering where fear and suspicion reigned. I could feel the palpable tension in the air as villagers whispered and pointed fingers. The atmosphere was suffocating, and I struggled to find my place in this new reality. One evening, a dear friend came to me, desperate for help. Her child was gravely ill, and she pleaded for me to use my herbs to heal him. I hesitated, torn between my duty to heal and the risk of being accused myself. The weight of my decision felt unbearable, and I feared the consequences of my actions. Rumors of a witch kill began to circulate, a bizarre attempt to identify the witches among us. Such superstitions only fueled the fire of hysteria, and I could only watch in dismay as our community descended further into madness. Each day brought new accusations, and neighbors turned against one another, their eyes filled with suspicion. As I sat by the fire one night, lost in thought, I pondered how we had come to this point. The village that once thrived on faith and community was now a battleground of fear. The church, which had been a source of comfort, now preached against the very practices that had sustained us. Sermons filled with fiery rhetoric warned of the devil's influence, and I questioned whether these messages brought solace or only deepened our dread. Despite the chaos, I found solace in my work. Each life I touched reminded me of the power of healing and the strength of the human spirit. I clung to these moments of light, even as the darkness threatened to consume us. The storm was far from over. I could sense it brewing on the horizon, a tempest that would test the very fabric of our community. But I refused to give in to despair. I knew that we had to hold on to hope, for it was the only thing that could guide us through the shadows. As I stand here looking out over Salem, I feel the weight of the accusations pressing down on us. The whispers have grown louder, and the fear is palpable. But I invite you to join me once more as we continue this journey through the heart of Salem. Together, we will uncover the chilling accusations, the trials that shook our community, and the toll they take on all of us. Until next time, this is Prudence Hawthorne, sharing the tales from the Diaries of a Salem Witch. May you find peace in these troubled times, and remember, even in the darkest of nights, there is always hope for a new dawn.